You're doing great. You might be wondering how come suddenly today we started talking about some natural aspects of our motherland. Well, it's sometimes good to have a change from the course as diverse knowledge is always appreciated. So let's begin. Today we'll discuss about the drainage. What exactly a drainage system is for any country and what it means and what are the features and what kind of drainage system do we have in our country. So let's consider the first point. What is basically a drainage? So it says flow of water through a well-defined channel is called as a drainage. Reason why we need a drainage is a proper flow of water should be administered in order to have clean environment. Now, network of such channels is known as a drainage system. One or more drainage when interlinked for proper flow of water is termed as a drainage system. And next, we're moving on to the third point, that says catchment area, the place from where the rivers collect their water is known as a catchment area. There are a huge number of catchment areas around, and there are many rivers, as we are all aware about our river systems in India. So they obviously collect water from some place, and they erode the sediments and minerals also. They deposit it at some places where it gives good growth, crop growing opportunities. Now next we're talking about the drainage basin. The area drained by a river and its tributary is called as a drainage basin. So when a river drains into some area or its tributary drains into some area, it is known as a drainage basin. What is a watershed? Now this is something very important. When there are two or more drainage systems, the divide between the drainage system is termed as a watershed. And this watershed also helps as a catchment area for small rivers and rivulets. As you can see this point in the corner, it says for small rivulets and rills, the catchment areas are watershed. That is, the small rivers could derive out of these catchment areas. So, and the catchment area of large rivers are known as river basin. So there is a difference between a catchment area and a watershed. Now let's move to the drainage pattern of areas. Drainage pattern of areas basically depend on the geological time period, nature of and structure of rock. Geological time period is for whatever time the area is there. Nature and structure of rocks is whatever rocks are there, whatever kind of rock, like what kind of minerals do they contain, are they fertile, do they make a fertile soil for our vegetation and cultivation. Topography basically refers to the terrain. As we all know, if we go into history, that plain terrain has been regarded as a most appropriate place for habitation and also for cultivation of crops and vegetation. Slope, this is again a relief feature which is considered when it comes to a drainage system. If there is slope, the water would flow easily. On plain, it is difficult for water to drain, as on some angle water flows on its own. Then the amount of water flowing and the periodicity of the flow, this is very important. Like what amount of water is flowing. If the amount is huge, then obviously it will move to a different level altogether. Now when you consider this note in the corner, it says river basins and watershed are marked by unity. That is, if there is some change in one part of a river basin or a watershed, it will directly affect the other part of a river basin and a watershed. And this, for this reason, it is considered as the most accepted and most appropriate micro, meso and macro planning regions, because it is because of this reason that we can identify that whether the area could be administered with good cultivation, good vegetation or habitation. So now next, moving on to the categorization of drainage systems in India. It is broadly classified into two parts. We'll be taking up this in the next course of action of this video. And drainage systems, its categorization and what factors does it depend. So guys, stay tuned for the next topic.